Hey there, history lovers. Today, I'm diving into the epic and often underrated story of Gideon. Yeah, that guy who went from being the most insecure man in Israel to one of the most legendary warriors the Bible ever recorded. His story? Oh! It's a wild mix of doubt, destiny, and divine power that will seriously blow your mind. So grab a seat, and let's travel back in time to when fear ruled a land, and one man's faith changed everything. Picture this. Ancient Israel, a land once overflowing with milk and honey, now crawling with enemies. The Midianites were ruthless. They'd sweep in like locusts, destroy crops, steal livestock, and leave families starving. People were hiding in caves, terrified to even step outside. That's the scene where we meet Gideon. Not on a battlefield, not leading troops, but hiding inside a wine press, secretly threshing wheat so the enemy wouldn't see him. And that's when it happens. Out of nowhere, an angel appears and says the most shocking thing ever. "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Wait, what? Mighty warrior? Gideon looks around like, "You talking to me?" Because, honestly, he didn't feel mighty at all. He felt small, invisible, and totally unqualified. He even says, "My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I'm the least in my family." Translation, you got the wrong guy. But that's what makes Gideon's story so powerful. God wasn't looking for a soldier. He was looking for someone willing to believe. Still, Gideon wasn't the type to just say, "Okay, and go." Nope. He needed proof. So he asked for a sign. Then another one. And then another one. Remember the famous fleece test? He lays out a piece of wool and says, "If the fleece is what would do and the ground is dry, I'll know it's really you speaking." Next morning, boom, it happens. But just to be sure, Gideon flips it. This time, make the fleece dry and the ground wet. God does it again. Talk about patience. Finally convinced, Gideon takes up the challenge. And what a challenge it is. God tells him to destroy his father's altar to Baal, basically the local idol that everyone worshipped. He's scared, but he does it at night. When the town wakes up and finds out, they're furious. But something shifts. His father defends him, saying, "If Baal's a god, let him defend himself." From that moment, Gideon starts becoming who God said he was all along, a warrior. Soon after, the real test comes. The Midianite army, so huge they couldn't even be counted, is camped nearby, ready to crush Israel again. Gideon gathers 32,000 men. Sounds good, right? Not to God. He says that's too many. Too many? Against a massive army? But God's reason was clear. He didn't want Israel taking credit for the victory. So Gideon tells everyone who's scared to go home. Boom, 22,000 leave. Now only 10,000 remain. Still too many, says God. So God gives Gideon a bizarre test. Watch how the men drink water. Those who lap like dogs stay, the others go. After this test, only 300 men remain. 300 against thousands. The odds are insane. But Gideon, strengthened by faith, doesn't back down. Night falls. The camp of Midian is quiet. Gideon sneaks close and overhears two soldiers talking about a dream. One says he dreamed of a loaf of barley bread rolling into camp and knocking over a tent. The other replies, "That's Gideon, the Israelite. God has given Midian into his hands." That was the final push Gideon needed. He runs back, rallies his 300 men, and gives them torches, clay jars, and trumpets. No swords, no shields, just faith. At his signal, they break the jars, blow the trumpets, and shout for the Lord and for Gideon. Chaos erupts. The Midianites panic, thinking they're surrounded by a massive army. In confusion, they turn on each other. The once unstoppable enemy flees in total panic, and Gideon's tiny army chases him down. Against all logic, Israel wins. But here's the thing. Gideon's victory wasn't about strength, numbers, or military genius. It was about trust. It was about God taking the most unlikely man and proving that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward even when you're scared out of your mind. After the battle, Israel wanted to make Gideon their king. Sounds fair, right? But he said no. "The Lord will rule over you," he told them. That's humility right there. He knew who really deserved the glory. Still, Gideon wasn't perfect. Later in life, He made some questionable choices, like crafting an ephod, a kind of priestly garment, that became a snare for Israel, drawing people back into idolatry. It's a reminder that even heroes stumble, but his legacy as the man who trusted God against impossible odds still stands tall. When you look at Gideon's story, you realize it's not just about battles or miracles. It's about transformation. A man who started out hiding in fear ended up leading a nation to freedom. God saw something in him that he didn't see in himself. And maybe that's the message for all of us. Because how many times do we feel like Gideon? Too weak, too small, too ordinary to make a difference. Yet God whispers, "You're stronger than you think." Maybe your 300 moment is waiting. That time when you finally step out in faith and watch God turn the impossible into reality. So, next time you feel unqualified or overwhelmed, remember Gideon, the man who doubted, hesitated, and asked for sign after sign but still obeyed. Because faith isn't about never doubting. It's about trusting even when you do. And that's it for today's deep dive. Gideon's journey from fear to faith is one of the most inspiring stories in the Bible, a true reminder that God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. If you love this story and want more powerful biblical legends like this one, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite part of Gideon's story, and don't forget to subscribe for more epic journeys of faith and courage. Until next time, keep believing, keep fighting, and remember, sometimes the smallest army, led by the biggest faith, wins the greatest battles.